With the call, Bob Fitzgerald and Wolf Weigel.
Okay. The Olympic power Hungarians in men's water polo against Montenegro. Their very first Olympic Games since separating from Serbia in 2006. The semifinals in men's water polo, the Final Four at Yingdong Natatorium. Hungary back-to-back gold medals. And Montenegro winning the European qualifying tournament over Romania and becoming one of the 12 best teams in the world in men's water polo and making it to the Final Four here in Beijing.
And Bob, the Hungarians, while ranked number 2 in the world, they've been the favorites in this tournament all along. 2-time defending gold medalists with a lot of key returners coming back.
Hungary has had a tie with Montenegro in pool play. That began day 1 of the competition, and they have yet to lose since. While Montenegro tied Hungary and tied Australia, lost to Spain, but was able to beat Croatia in an upset in the quarters. And the sprint to begin the first of 4 8-minute periods, and owned by Hungary. 6 players on the Hungarian team looking for their 3rd consecutive gold medal. The favorites coming in, and they have not disappointed. Gergely Kish holding with the left hand, and looking into the center spot. And Gabor Kiss is fouled, and so a 6-on-5 for Hungary right away. And they like that quick striking.
Yeah, they didn't get it there, but they're always looking for it. Trying to get before the defense gets set up, and now they're going to have to settle for the regular rotation.
6-on-5 is a 20-second shot clock, 30-second normal shot clock, but the power play will now make it 6-on-4. And this is almost a sure scoring opportunity, and firing it in, the Hungarians, their leading scorer, Peter Biros, making it 1-0 early on.
Well, Peter Biros has great legs there. After good exclusion draw by Gabor Kish inside, and Biros just getting up high and strong, throwing the fastball across cage after 3 fakes. Tough to stop.
Hungary, the favorite here. Montenegro wants to kind of hang in early and see if they can find their sea legs. Montenegro in the blue caps. Putting themselves in that tie 10-10 between these two teams in prelims, as good a game as we've seen in the whole tournament.
Yeah, right from day one, we saw that said that was probably going to be one of the best games of the tournament. And hopefully this can live up to that match.
6-on-5 for Montenegro here. They want to get it to Lanovic. Janovic in the 7 cap. His brother Nikola, and answering right back. Montenegro tying things at 1, and this is just the beginning we had in that 10-10 tie between these two teams.
And 2 very similar players scoring for each team. Nikola Janovic, the strongest, most powerful shooter for the Montenegrins, answering back to Biros.
His first Olympic Games at the age of 28, and 4 goals in the 2005 World Championships. Many of these Montenegro players played on the unified team, Serbian Montenegro, and silver medal winners in Athens. Another 6-on-5 kick out, and so we've had a lot of fouls both ways in the game's opening possessions. Tibor Benedict in his 5th Olympics, holding on the right wing. Experience for Hungary. And firing it in, Gergely Kish with his 6th goal of the tournament, and Dennis Kemeny, the coach, liking it.
Well, Bob, no one's going to stop that shot. Gergely Kish, 6'7", tremendous leg power as well, getting it up. And he's got just a harder shot as Biros there, out to his suit, bar in.
So you want to talk about perfection on special teams. Hungary's 2 for 2. Montenegro 1 for 1 on the 6-on-5 advantages. 30 by 20 meters is the pool for men's water polo. 3 meter wide goal, 3 feet high. Players will swim about 2 miles in a given game. But the physical nature of the sport is just unreal, particularly below water, where anything goes.
We've seen some hard fouling in the center position. And the reason is players have to foul very aggressively to stop a goal when it comes into that center position 2 meters away from the goal center cage.
So Montenegro, their second possession, their second power play, a 6-on-5 here. They get out to Nikola Janovic. He has the first goal for Montenegro. Shot clock down to 8. Dropping it off on the left wing and scoring to the short side is Boris Slokovic. 2 power plays each, 2 goals each.
A lot of firepower there. Both teams just clicking offensively. Great passing and excellent effort by Slokovic. He's been the one battling in the center position the whole time, and for him to get an outside shot like that after all that wrestling and fighting, he's a little tired. He's going to come take a break.
Surprised that exclusion foul, exclusion foul, exclusion foul, exclusion foul. We can have any possessions where they stay 6-on-6?
None of the teams want to give up that natural goal 6-on-6 out of the center position. So if that ball comes in, they're going to make an aggressive foul and stop that.
This is Rudolf Varga. Daniel Rudolf Varga, his brother Dennis Varga on the team for Hungary. Gergely Kish dropping it to the center spot, and an errant pass and the turnover, and we didn't have a power play that trip down. So the backup keeper Milos Stepanovic in net for Montenegro. And so 3 minutes in, a wild beginning to the semifinal game. Hungary coming in at number 2 in the world, and Montenegro in their very first Olympic Games as an independent country.
Now we have another exclusion on Hungary.
Montenegro, third power play, and a chance to break the tie here. Keep an eye on Jokic right in the slot. He has it now. Cycling it now to Mladen Janovic in the 7 blue cap on the left wing. And with the shot clock winding down, that was a bar right at the goal line, but the entire ball has to go in, and so not a goal.
Very close. Great leaning shot there. Excellent technique to get away from that shot blocker and put it cross cage. And Seichi didn't get a piece of it, but lucky on that one. It's just sat on the goal line.
The Hungarian fans have dominated the pool for men's and women's water polo. Well represented today. Another 6-on-5 here for Hungary.
Both teams playing very physical, not wanting to give 1 inch, and the referees calling them for it.
That one high and wide. And the thing about it, Wolf, is that you have 2 keepers, you have 11 field players. You only get 3 exclusion fouls per person. With the amount of infractions, you're going to have people fouling out of this game.
No, and if it comes to that, that's definitely an advantage for Hungary, as they have a lot more depth than Montenegro. Montenegro playing 5 key players a large portion of the game.
Vladimir Gojkovic, who has 9 goals, holding there to the center spot and rattling it in. Ivovic with his 9th goal, and the power play has been special for Montenegro.
And Ivovic, great move on the Hungarian center, Molnar. A lot of times the opposition center player is one of the weak links on defense, and teams like to expose that.
A country of 684,000 people. Their only chance at a medal is in men's water polo. Velko Uskokovic, their captain, going to retire after the Olympics. He was the flag bearer in opening ceremonies, only water polo player to do that. And Montenegro up 3-2 on the heavily favored Hungarians. Hungary in the white caps. Benedict, you'll see he's got that wristband on the left hand. Rare to be a left-hander, yet Hungary with 4 quality players that are left-handed. This is a power play. 6-on-5 for Hungary for 20 seconds here.
And the call on that one was Tibor Benedict had the ball and was struck in the face, so that's an exclusion foul.
They're all over Benedict there. You'll hear those common or ordinary fouls. That allows a free pass and a field block, sending that all the way out to mid-pool, where Hungary will regain and get a new shot clock.
And the teams are now at even strength.
Montenegro killing off the disadvantage. And here comes Hungary. Benedict will control things in the slot. Not about shooting initially. Now he'll drop it off to Peter Birosh. Biros looking for that center spot to Gabor Kiss. Shot clock down to 7. And another field block. And Montenegro is leading Hungary. There's no more decorated team than the Hungarian men's water polo team. They're second in the world, back-to-back gold medalists. But Wolf, this is the 25th men's Olympic tournament. Hungary has 8 of the prior 24 gold medals.
No, with the exception of one 20-year streak from 76 to 96, the Hungarians have just completely dominated the world water polo scene.
It is their national sport, water polo, in Hungary. And the field block's amazing. We have not seen this in earlier games. What's a field player do when he sees someone wind up and shoot?
Well, he's trying to get up as high out of the water as he can, take as much cage of the way, take as much of the cage away as possible. And he's also taking a certain part of the cage that the goalkeeper and the defensive player have coordinated so that he can help the goalie as well.
Minute and a half remaining in the first period. Men's semifinals. The United States will deal with Serbia later. This to get into the gold medal game. Hungary and Montenegro. And cap off, skip shot, and rattling it in. And so Hungary tying things at 3 apiece.
And Tibor Benedict has been having an unbelievable tournament. Very high shooting percentage. You see him roughed up with the cap off, still able to get that shot off. Benedict in his 5th Olympics has come to play.
36 years of age, plays for Pro Recco in Italy. Essentially the New York Yankees of water polo. And at 36, you were saying at the beginning of the tournament, people said, I don't know if Benedict has anything left in the tank, and he's had a wonderful tournament. Is in on most of the scoring opportunities, and now has pumped in 9 goals.
Well, one of the world scoring leaders, and then going into Athens, he didn't put that many goals in. A lot of people starting to write him off the last few years, but he's been looking great this tournament.
And how much force does it take to the noggin to get a cap ripped off your head?
There's a lot of grabbing, a lot of holding.
So for Montenegro, they have hung in with a quality Hungary team. But remember, these teams tied at 10-10 in the prelims. I don't think Montenegro fears Hungary. And yet there's a healthy respect both ways because neither team got the better of the other.
No, and a lot of it's matchups. So Hungarians might be able to blow out Greece 17-6, a team that might give other teams trouble, but the Montenegrins feel very comfortable playing against Hungary.
6-on-5 for Montenegro again. They have been good on the power play.
And Juskovic in, 6-on-5 specialist for Montenegro.
Keeping the ball dry as they move it around. Making that zone defense shift. And an offensive foul. They don't get a shot off.
They were called for offsides there. Janovic was called inside the 2-meter line without the ball. And as Juskovic passed it to him, he was whistled for the infraction.
Norbert Hosnanski swimming into the front part of the pool. Final 40 ticks here in the first period. Men's semifinal game at Yingdong Natatorium in Beijing. And Hungary returning the favor, turning it over in their own right. 30-second shot clock, so likely the final possession here of the first period. Redrag Jokic. Just laying it out in the slot that time for Vladimir Gojkovic. Now Mladen Janovic, who will draw extra attention. The 7 blue cap. He has 11 goals in the tournament to lead Montenegro. Shot clock at 8. Into the center spot. And we'll have an exclusion foul. Very brief power play and a quick shot. Redrag Jokic wasted no time. And a goal with 9 ticks remaining in the first. A momentum goal there as Montenegro has the lead.
Well, that was a beautiful play by 2 former Serbia and Montenegro players back in 2005. These guys were world champions along with Slokovic. And you had Gojkovic passing it into Slokovic and then kicking it out to Jokic, all 3 members of that 2005 World Championship team.
Well, you think of the gold medal winning Yugoslavian teams before the Balkan republics broke up. Croatia #1 in the world. Serbia's in the Final Four. Montenegro's in the Final Four. If they had all 3 of those countries playing together, they would be the dominant water polo power. At the end of 1, Montenegro upsetting Hungary 4-3. The Red Sharks of the Adriatic with, we have to say, the biggest flag we have seen in Beijing representing any country. Montenegro's a small country. They got big flags.
They're definitely out flagging the Hungarians today. Seems like every Hungarian in the stands has a flag, but put them all together, not as big as that Montenegro flag.
Well, they're not flagging in the water in any way, shape, or form, as Montenegro is leading Hungary as we begin the second period here. Men's semifinals, the winner to play the winner of the United States, men, and Serbia. And Montenegro in their first Olympic Games, and Team USA really the stories in the men's water polo tournament. Montenegro with 3 power play goals in that first period. They'll have another opportunity here, 6-on-5. Keep an eye on Mladen Janovic in the slot. Number 7 right there, their leading scorer. Moving the ball around nicely. Into the 2-meter spot and hammering it in. Beautiful passing, and Petar Perovic is loving it. Montenegro ruthless with a man advantage.
Well, Gojkovic just threading the needle again. Maybe the best all-around player for Montenegro. We saw his 2 big counterattack goals in the previous game, and Gojkovic threading the needle once again, finding Janovic. And Janovic, one of the players on this Montenegro team who was spurned by the former Serbian Montenegro player, never on that World Championship team, and he has a lot to prove here for himself.
His first Olympic Games. Having a wonderful beginning to this game with a couple goals. Nikola Janovic at a minute into the second period in Hungary. I don't want to say they haven't been tested, because they did tie this Montenegro squad in day 1, but then they ran off 4 straight wins, and they were all very impressive. And shooting and firing a bar out. Loading up that time was Daniel Varga. You surprised Milo Stepanovic gets the start here as they've gone to the backup keeper?
I think it was a situation where the starting goalie and the backup goalie were both about even coming into the tournament, and they each played a game or two, and Peter Portovic decided to go with the hot goalkeeper.
Stepanovic was in cage when they upset Croatia. This is a chance for Montenegro. If they were to get to the gold medal game, they'd have beaten the number 1 and number 2 teams in the world. And at the center spot there, no backhand able to be unleashed.
And talking about world rankings on the women's side, the number 9 team in the world, the Dutch, ended up winning the gold medal. So Team USA, while they're ranked 9th in the world for the men, anything's still possible.
Thomas Kashash, one of the best players in the world. He and Gergely Kish, Tibor Benedict, all with multiple gold medals, looking for a third. And now a 6-on-5 power play opportunity for Hungary.
And Montenegro, Bob, doing a great job of stopping that quick attack by the Hungarians. Every time they get an exclusion, all 5 Montenegrons are in position and not giving up that quick goal that Hungary likes to take.
Very good scouting. Benedict firing and off the side post. And that's important to note, Wolf, is that you get the 6-on-5, the player excluded has to swim out, but play continues. And so it's not a matter of stopping things to allow both teams to regroup.
No, that's how Jokic was able to score that quick goal for Montenegro at the end of the quarter. His player was ejected, and they were able to get him the ball before Hungary had set up on defense.
Vladimir Gojkovic now getting in the slot to Ivovic. And putting it in is Vladimir Gojkovic, and you'd have to say right now, Zoltan Seichi in cage is more than a little rattled.
No, Gojkovic just playing out of his mind, doing everything he possibly can, from assists to goals.
And I'm not the only one that thinks Zoltan Seichi's having a tough one. The goalie's just been pulled. And so, Esteban Gergely is coming in. The backup goalie here for the back-to-back gold medal winners in Hungary. They put in the backup keeper. Zoltan Seichi has yielded 6 goals.
Seichi, 2-time Olympic gold medalist for this Hungarian team. I don't think he's been pulled in a big game in the last 2 Olympics.
So Hungary being more than threatened here, doubled up by Montenegro. With 5 minutes remaining in the first half. 4 8-minute periods. 30-second shot clock. 20-second power play clock. Dumping it into the center spot. Whitewater in front of the cage. And that'll be a penalty on Montenegro. There's the quick attack that Hungary's famous for. Gergely Kish putting it in.
Kiss drawing the ejection. Kish powering that in. That's his second goal of the day. And there was no doubt about that one before Montenegro could fully set up. Just going over the top of the defense and beating Stepanovic.
So it'll be interesting to see how the backup keeper Gergely plays. While Gergely Kish putting in his second goal. Montenegro. There's Zoltan Seici, who pulled from the game after giving up 6 goals. It has been semifinal. Opportunity to play for gold in Beijing. And the ball submerged. Can't hold it under the water. That's an offensive turnover. And here comes Hungary on the counterattack. You will have Gergely Kish along with Birosh and Benedict. They've played together for 12 years. This whole team's been together for over a decade. They will handle the ball most every time for the Hungarians.
And Bob, those 3 players along with Tamás Kásás, they call them the 4 horsemen in Hungary, and they'll play most of the minutes for this game and control the tempo for them.
The 4 horsemen, I like the Notre Dame reference. On the right wing and into the center spot and hitting the side post. Montenegro very fortunate. Dennis Kemeny saying that's how we want to run the play. We want to execute. So side posts, those crossbars that drive coaches crazy, those missed opportunities. As Montenegro up 2. Keeping an eye on the number of exclusions, though. We're talking 8 fouls on Montenegro. We're not even done with the half.
No, about 15 fouls in the game. It's been very physical. Like we said, neither team wants to give up a natural 6-on-6 goal, and they're willing to just foul hard and take the exclusion.
Vucevic with 2 fouls, 3 and you're fouled out of the game. And I tell you what, Gergely Kish is putting on a show here. Kish scoring again at 30 years of age at 6'6", 229 pounds. He was the top scorer in Sydney back in 2000. And Gergely Kish lighting it up with a hat trick here in the first half.
Well, coming into this game, he only had 5 goals, and now with 3 here, he's absolutely on fire. But there's so much firepower on this Hungarian team that he didn't have to score at the beginning of the tournament. So they have so many big guns out there. Not every guy has to have a great game each day.
It's amazing, though. We talk about how rare it is for a team to have a solid left-handed player, and yet Hungary has 3 that are probably 3 of the 10 best left-handers in the world, and they're all on one team.
That's exactly right. And they've had that situation for the last 2 Olympic Games as well, part of their success.
And tell people why having a left-handed player is so valuable.
Well, when you're playing on the right side of the pool, it's much easier to catch the ball left-handed as opposed to catching it right-handed, where you have to bring the ball across your face and reset your whole body.
Now into the slot here. Nikola Janovic, who has 2 goals. Shot clock down to 4. Lob shot. And that's over everything. And now an offensive foul. And Montenegro will have another opportunity. Right at the 3-minute mark remaining in the first half. Hungary heavily favored. Back-to-back gold medal winners. Looking for 3 in a row in men's water polo. The national sport of Hungary. And Montenegro in their very first Olympic Games. A country of only 684,000 people, becoming independent from Serbia in June of 2006. What a great story if they were to make the gold medal game. And for American fans, maybe not as interesting, but a Serbia-Montenegro gold medal game would be something else.
That would be unbelievable. It's the 2 countries just haven't recently split. They were world champions together in 2005, and that would be a big statement for water polo in that part of the world.
Norbert Madarash. We get to Norbert Hosnansky. Work the left wing here, but eventually always want to come back to the right. That's where Benedict is. Madarash at the center spot. No goal. That was an offensive foul before the shot.
And Dr. Tamás Molnár called there for the push-off going back door.
Montenegro would gain a lot of confidence if they could have the lead at halftime, but there's a long way to go with the 2:17 left. These 2 teams tied at 10 apiece in the prelim round. And this one's been just as exciting with that skip shot over the cage, and Hungary an opportunity. 30-second shot clock. Get an idea with 2 minutes left just how many possessions remain in this first half.
We talked about in the Montenegro-Croatia game about Montenegro not having the biggest bench, and a big goal by Dr. Molnar, Tomas Molnar.
His 9th goal of the tournament. And Montenegro had the 6-3 lead, and it is gone.
And he's the center, usually playing in the middle of the cage, in the middle of the pool, right in front of the cage, and he puts an outside shot, and he had one earlier in this tournament from about 13 meters out. He's not scared to shoot the ball.
Tomas Molnar, at 33 years of age, already has a couple gold medals, looking for the 3rd. And Montenegro, they're thinking 2 minutes ago up 6-3, and now here comes Hungary storming back to tie things at 6 with 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
And we're talking about the Montenegro depth as Boris Slokovic draws an ejection. They were able to hold on against Croatia, who was fighting back.
So the Red Sharks of the Adriatic in the blue caps here with a 6-on-5 opportunity. Nikola Janovic onto the right wing. And we're going to have a 6-on-4 opportunity here. A second ejection. The zone shrinking, and that one slammed in. And so Montenegro with a 6-on-4, and that's the veteran Veljko Uskokovic, the captain, putting it in.
Slokovic just earning that ejection there, being hammered. And look how smooth this shot is by Uskokovic. Just silky smooth. Laying it up. No one had a chance on that one.
We'll talk about if Montenegro can get to halftime with the lead, start to believe that an upset is possible. Gained a lot of confidence with that 10-10 tie. And I think after yielding 3 straight goals, it's important that they broke that streak.
Big shot by the team captain there. And he doesn't play that many minutes, but he's very dangerous on the power play for Montenegro.
37 years of age, already said he's going to retire at the end of the Olympics. Into the center spot. No foul called. Montenegro with a steal. Now what do you want on the outlet here on the counterattack?
You see, as Hungary pressing, they're trying to contest that ball. They just need to make a safe pass. They want to get it down pool, get a foul like they're doing, stop the clock so the team can swim down pool.
And so Montenegro coming in on the left wing. Final minute of play here in the first half. Dumping it to the center spot. Taken away. And so Hungary, every time that Gergely Kish has it in his hands, and it's usually the left hand, he and Benedict both on the right side of the pool, just a dynamic duo. Trying to dump it into the center spot, turning and firing and missing wide. An opportunity for Kashash there, and he'll normally put that one away.
He's just been a little off this tournament, constantly missing the goal by a couple inches, and usually one of the strongest attackers in the world.
Montenegro looking to kill this clock and have the lead, or will they try to put one more in?
Well, they're absolutely going to wait until the last few seconds, and then they might attack with 5 or 7 seconds, but they're not going to force anything right here.
Game clock and shot clock are in sync.
He might have the shot here off this foul.
And a skip shot is wide with 5 ticks left. Madeline Janovic, the leading scorer for Montenegro, trying to get loose a little bit. And Hungary content to shoot from mid-pool, and that will do it. The first half of the semifinal game. Hungary, the back-to-back gold medal winners, trailing to Montenegro by 1. The sprint that begins every water polo period for possession. And Hungary wins the sprint. And now you were telling me, Wolf, that a sprinter in water polo will be faster than even Michael Phelps getting to a ball in the pool.
Well, that's right for a number of reasons. Is they're starting from a dead stop in the water, and they've got to use that water polo movement to start. And it's also only 15 meters as opposed to 50, which is the shortest distance in swimming. So a lot of these guys quicker, and they've got more muscle strength because there's a lot more weightlifting training in water polo.
Yeah, not jumping out of the starters blocks like swimmers. 6-on-5 for Hungary here. Down a goal, the back-to-back gold medal winners trying to make it 3 in a row here in Beijing. Montenegro in their first Olympic Games and having the 1-goal lead midway through this game. What do you want to do on a 6-on-5?
Exactly what they did right there. A lot of quick passing, and then moving the goalie, rotating into position. Madras with the goal there. Another strong left-hander for him. He's sort of like the third left-hander, but just an unbelievable player.
Hungary and Montenegro now have played essentially 6 periods of water polo, and they're tied at 17 all. 10-10 the tie in the prelims. And barely a minute gone by here in the third. We're even at 7.
And the foul's starting to rack up for Montenegro. They've got 3 players now in foul trouble with two exclusions.
Once you get the third, you fouled out of the game. Very similar to personal fouls in basketball. You hear a lot of ordinary or common foul whistles in water polo. This whistle for an offensive foul. Petar Perovic not liking it, and Hungary on the counterattack. Coming in on the left wing. Woznansky. Out of Gergely Kish. Dropping it to the center spot. The ball loose in front of the cage. And the crashing defense, the double team there, knocking it away. Ron Ticic with 2 fouls. Just as Wolf was mentioning, 3 players on the verge of fouling out. You only get 11 field players and then 2 goalies. 6 field players and a keeper in the pool at one time. And a 6-on-5 here. Montenegro an opportunity to break the tie.
And Mladenovic doing a great job posting up Gergely Kish on that one.
Out of the right wing. Looking for someone in front of the cage. There's Janovic. Nikola Janovic with a couple goals. Wanting to shoot that, pumping. Now to Mladenovic, and the field block will send it away, and right out of the corner, coming off the penalty.
And Tibor Benedict at 36 years old, showing why he's one of the best players in the world still, just scrambling out of that penalty box ferociously to grab that ball.
It's huge there. As Montenegro recovers possession, they get a new 30-second shot clock. And instead, Hungary headed the other way.
And Bob, 2 days ago, we saw a game where a player came out of the penalty box, didn't really know what was happening, and lost that exact same position.
Yeah, swam right by the ball. Beautiful save that time. And the windup right from the slot. And Milos Stepanovic laying out with a right hand.
Beautiful extension there by Stepanovic, going right to the ball, knocking that down.
3 minutes gone by here in the third. Montenegro did a good job on Gergely Kish in terms of getting 2 fouls on him. One more foul and a player with a hat trick for Hungary would foul out. But the field blocks are starting to pile up. That as much scoring as we saw in the first half, the physicality with the exclusions, will teams fatigue here in the second half?
Well, that'll wear both teams down. They were playing so hard, fouling everyone, a lot of wrestling, a lot of holding, and you can't help but get worn down a little bit.
Common or ordinary foul allows a free pass, but the other players in the pool can keep moving. Unlimited ordinary fouls, but the ejection or power play exclusion fouls, you only get 3 and then you're done. A turnover here with Montenegro taking control.
And Bob, the most important thing to remember is when you hear a whistle, the play doesn't stop, as in most other sports. So if there's a foul, that player gets to take the free throw and can't be touched or attacked, but everyone else is still moving and playing.
At the center spot, ball loose, and unable to corral it was Slokovic. And so we've had turnover after turnover. It's a lot of swimming back and forth, covering the 30-meter distance, and then getting into the Greco-Roman wrestling in front of the goal. Midway through the third, we've decided nothing, even at 7. The winner to play, the United States or Serbia. And why are we having so many turnovers here without even shots on cage?
Well, both centers are just trying to establish position, and they're getting caught with their hands above the water, holding the defender back, and what they've got to do is keep their arms lower underwater, and the referees won't be able to whistle them for it.
Mladen Janovic dropping it back to Ivasic. Ivasic pumping, looking, and that's the first time Stevan Gergely has been tested. The backup keeper has allowed just the 1 goal after he came in for Zoltan Seichi, who got lit up. There's a time in this game that Montenegro led 6-3. And Hungary storming back to make it 7-all.
It was a beautiful save by Gergely. Ivovic had time to fake 4 or 5 times center goal. He held tough with him on every fake and was able to bat down a pretty good shot.
And firing it in left-handed, almost an afterthought. That was so deep. Norbert Madarash giving Hungary the lead with his second goal in the period.
Well, the left-handers playing big for Hungary. Madarash with the goal. We've talked about Kish with the hat trick and Benedict also on the scoreboard.
And I think that's one where Stepanovic would want that over.
It's maybe the first one Stepanovic has given up there that really should have been his. And now he's going to get pulled for that one. They've pulled Stepanovic, and both teams now switching goalkeepers mid-game.
Zdravko Radic, who was the starting keeper, back in. And do you get any kind of momentum swing or boost for your team if you switch keepers?
Well, just the confidence to the team to say, hey, you know what? He's not hot. He's not doing it. We're going to put someone else in. And these teams both feel very comfortable with their backup goalies in. So it's not a situation, as we see an exclusion there.
Now Montenegro will use a timeout. You get 2 in regulation. So Petar Perovic with the man advantage. Going to talk about the power play. Hungary and Montenegro, a good one. The winner to move on for gold. Power play for Montenegro, trailing by 1 with 2.5 remaining in the third. And the save by the backup keeper, Gergely. Allowed only the single goal after Hungary was down 6-3 in this game. They've stormed back to lead 8-7. And Montenegro feeling they just let an opportunity slip through their hands. Long lead pass from Peter Biros. Back out to the slot. Dennis Varga playing with his brother Daniel on this Hungarian team. And shooting and finding the upper corner.
Dennis Varga, just an unbelievable player. MVP of the Junior World Championships in 2007. Just such a pure talent. Look at that shot. Just almost a wrist shot, bar in. And he doesn't get to play that much because you have so many veteran players out there. But if it looks like Hungary might do good to play him a little more.
21 years of age, Dennis Varga. And from down 6-3, the back-to-back gold medal winning Hungarians with a 2-goal lead at the 2-minute mark here in the third. We've seen powerful shots that seem almost shoulder winds up. Varga, that was just a wrist snap, lightning quick to that upper corner.
He's a real smooth shooter. Reminds me a little bit of Juskovic for Montenegro.
Dennis Kennedy going with the youngster and paying dividends. Normally the substitutions occur in the final minutes of periods, and so Varga, one of the backups, giving Hungary the 2-goal lead, and an offensive foul, and here come the Hungarians, and Montenegro, a 3-goal lead more than gone. A 2-goal deficit staring them in the face against the number 2 ranked team in the world, and a team with 2 gold medals at the center spot, and just coming off the hands as Varga was in for another opportunity.
That was a great counterattack opportunity. Kosh just read him the whole way, just waiting for him to make his move and get to his back.
There's
and
the
just slipped out of his hand.
Captain Juskovic playing in limited minutes, but here to close out the period. Into the center spot, backhand and stopped. Gergely got the backhand and then kind of pounded his head with the ball in celebration.
It's fun. Gergely just playing out of his mind here, piling up save after save. He's only given up 1 goal in almost a half of play.
Switching out for Zoltan Seichi has paid off. And a beautiful play by Vladislav Janovic. You saw that pass the whole way, able to tick it aside. And swimming for open water here in the final minute of the third. Men's semifinals. The winner to move into the gold medal game to take on the winner of USA and Serbia. Clock down to 9 for Montenegro. And a skip shot, and that's not even going to test any keeper.
That's more like a warm-up drill when you put a goalie in, you want to warm them up. That's the kind of shot you throw at them.
Montenegro has not scored here in the third. Hungary getting it done offensively and defensively. 5 seconds left in the period, teeing one up. And knocked out of bounds. That was Thomas Kashash. So 2 seconds left, and we're headed to the final 8 minutes of the men's semis. The back-to-back gold medal winning Hungarians on top of Montenegro, 9-7.
We're on this.
A 3-0 third period for Hungary. They had trailed in this game 6-3, but the veteran experience for the Hungarians edging out to the 9-7 lead here as we get ready for the sprint to begin the fourth and final period of the first men's semis at Yingdong Natatorium. And Wolf, how do you pick who gets the sprint for the ball in possession?
It's not necessarily your fastest swimmer, but it's more of your quickest swimmer, the guy who has the best start from a dead stop in the water and who can power it out for 15 meters, very short distance of a sprint.
So here is the sprint for the fourth quarter and the first possession. That time, Robert Mataraj winning the ball for Hungary. And you got to think that Montenegro needs a goal early in this period just to rebuild their confidence. They've been blanked in the second half. They've seen their 6-3 lead go astray.
Well, that's exactly right. We talked about their depth too, and Hungary, who subs a lot. As we saw, Dennis Varga, really one of the best players in the world, I'd say. He's almost a bench player for Hungary, so they've got lots of people to go to. Montenegro sticking with 5 or 6 key guys.
Both coaches have changed goalies in this game, anything to try to jumpstart their teams. Montenegro, their first possession here in the fourth. Pumping, firing, and seeing it the whole way. Esteban Garrigues is playing very well. Coming in as the backup for Zoltan Seichi.
He's probably saying to himself, boy, you know what? I should have been the goalie for this team the last 8 years. Boy, what was I doing on the bench?
Hey, he might be starting the gold medal game. You never know what Dennis Kemeny would do.
I think he will if the Hungarians can hold on to this victory. I would certainly start him.
Robert Mataraj and a field block will send that away. Difference of field block or if the keeper touches it last.
Well, if the field player, one of the field players, the defenders, knocks it out of the bounds, it's considered a turnover, and the teams will change possession. If the goalkeeper knocks it out, they'll get a new 30-second shot clock, and the team on offense will retain possession.
Vladimir Gojkovic with 9 goals in the tournament. A beautiful pass. And that skip shot nearly had the cage.
The Hungarians are up here on the counterattack if they can get it out.
Garrigues swimming to the corner to get it.
He's going to look for Casas across the pool.
A foul there. Allows the free pass here for Peter Biros. Getting it to Norbert Hosnansky. Looking at the center spot. Fronting there, and just a whip shot is sent away by Radic. The starting goalkeeper who did not start this game for Montenegro. The backup Stepanovic got the playing time. And then the flip from Petar Perovic in goal for Montenegro too.
Bob, I can't remember the last time we had an Olympic semifinal with both goalkeepers getting pulled. Just extraordinary.
Serbia and the United States in the other semi.
An offensive foul there drawn by Tibor Benedict on Jokic, and he did a great job. A little bit of acting and probably a little bit of pushing on Jokic's part as well.
Water polo has been an Olympic sport since 1900. Water polo and soccer, the 2 oldest team sports. In the previous 24 tournaments, it's been Hungary that has won 8 gold medals, more than any other country. They're back-to-back golds in 2000 and 2004. They're 5 minutes and 47 seconds away from playing for another one here in Beijing.
And every single Hungarian player and coach leaping off his feet thought that was a tip out by Radic, and the referees didn't agree with it. But on the replay, it looked like it might have been.
Montenegro has not scored in the second half, but now we'll have a power play situation. And they will use another timeout. So Petar Perovic trying to figure out how they get a goal in the second half. They're down a deuce to Hungary. Montenegro shut out in the second half. Had led this game at 1.63. 5.5 left and a 6-on-5. Almost a must-score situation to build some confidence in the fourth period against the mighty Hungarians. Ball moving around. Mladen Janovic, Nikola Janovic, both in the slot. Mladen Janovic, double-digit goals in the tournament, and a skip shot, left-handed from the veteran. And Veljko Uskokovic, the captain, the biggest point of the game thus far. Almost a must-score situation, and Montenegro comes through.
And a beautiful shot there, just skipping it right under the hand of the Hungarian defense. And that's not the goalkeeper's responsibility. Near side was supposed to be the defensive player of the field block there. Uskokovic with his second smooth goal of the game.
Going to retire at the end of this tournament, but played long enough to see his native Montenegro become an independent nation and then carry the flag in Beijing as the captain. Well, Hungary 5 minutes away from going for their third straight gold medal in men's water polo. They had tied Montenegro in the prelims at 10 apiece. This game has been just as good in the semis. Hungary on the right wing. Madarash back out to the slot, and well marked there. Tamas Kasic. And a 6-on-5. They'll rule the foul on Mladen Janovic. So here's Hungary with a power play. There's so many left-handers, they can hurt you from either side of the pool.
Dennis Varga back in. They put the ball inside to Molnar. He's just stuffed.
Radic coming up with a big save there.
Molnar point blank. Radic reading it all the way, just knocking it down into the water and controlling it.
It's amazing to me how guys can leap out of the water. They're treading water with that egg beater kick. They're getting vertical there and moving sideways to make the save. Shot clock down to 5. Montenegro's taking a lot of time to get to the front of the pool. And a 6-on-5, and the backhand is in. Now, are they going to allow this goal? Apparently not. You heard the whistle for the exclusion, and that was just as Vukcevic.
It looks like they're calling that the player who was excluded interfered with the shot before he took with the shooter before he took the shot, so he's called for a penalty.
5-meter penalty shot. Rejag Jokic, and it's stopped. What a turn of events. Montenegro thought that they had tied the game, and instead the 5-meter shot turned away by Gergely.
Gergely, 6'7", just dominating the cage ever since about 4 minutes into the second period.
Oh, mark that down at the 3:50 mark. The foul whistle actually benefited Hungary. Montenegro had a goal in. It was disallowed. The 5-meter doesn't go. And here come the Red Sharks of the Adriatic with 3.5 to work with. Their first Olympic Games. And can they upset the mighty Hungarians? Trying to look to the center spot. Vukcevic is doing the work. And from the right wing, Gojkovic rising, lobbing it in. The lob shot fooled everyone, and Gergely was not ready for it.
And we talked about Gojkovic maybe being the best player. Look at him lean all the way to his left. Lock down Istvan Gergely and just placing it in the corner.
When you say lock down,
it means he's making Gergely think that a hard shot's coming. He's got to commit with his body moving forward, looking for the fastball, and at the last second just caught up with the changeup there.
So Montenegro somehow overcomes that disallowed goal, ties things at 9. If we finish in a draw, it would go to 2 3-minute overtimes. If tied after that, a 5-player penalty shootout into the center spot. And that will be a 6-on-5. And so here's Hungary's opportunity, and they will use a timeout. Kemeny is signaling for the timeout, and now he's awarded. So 2:56 left. These teams played a 10-10 tie in the prelims. And they have played now through 29 minutes of a semifinal game, and they're tied at 9 again.
Well, Vladimir Gojkovic just impressing us more and more every game. Seems to do it all. In the quarterfinal matchup, he had 2 huge counterattack goals against Croatia, and very rare to get a counterattack goal at this high level of international water polo, where teams are very, very much aware to stop that.
We have not seen this at the Yingdong Natatorium. Out of the pool, they have put at least 30 Beijing volunteers in between the Hungarian and Montenegro cheering sections. Apparently, that was getting a little sporty in terms of the, let's say, more than just words being exchanged back and forth.
No, you have the 2 biggest cheering sections straddled right next to each other. Now there's a huge buffer up there.
No buffer in the pool, though, as Hungary with the power play. 2:45 to work with, and a sloppy pass breaks up the rhythm as they move the zone back and forth. Touch pass and in. The Hungarians with a monster goal there from Tamás Kásás.
Well, beautiful play between 2 players who have hooked up so much, and over the last 12 years international water polo. Kish just lofting that up. You can see all of Tamás Kásás' suit coming out of the water and just rifling that into the cage. And having an off game so far, he was very excited to get on the scoring board.
Kásás had 14 goals in Athens. His father Zoltan won a silver in 1972. It's odd, he's a sleepwalker. They have to pick his roommate very carefully because Kásás will walk around the Olympic Village. They need someone to keep an eye on him. Wake it up in the middle of the night and unaware of it. And a turnover for Montenegro. Hungary with all the experience. And 2:20. Are they worried about killing clock or pumping in another goal?
Now, this is still very much a game. They're looking to get another goal here. They won't be happy unless they have a 2-goal lead going into the last minute.
Peter Biros working out to Gergely Kish. 6 players already with 2 gold medals for Hungary, coming in looking for their 3rd. 8 gold medals for the country of Hungary in 24 men's Olympic water polo tournaments. At Montenegro, their very first Olympic Games ever as an independent country. Mladen Janovic with 1:50 left, looking for an equalizer. Into the center spot in the deflection. Beautiful play by Kásás, who's doing it now offensively and defensively. Dennis Kemeny, who's a veterinarian, a doctor, and he is the gold medal winning coach. He's got 2 of them, looking for a 3rd. 30-second shot clock, about 1.5 minutes left in the game. Dwindling possessions both ways. Hungary, a 6-on-5. 1 more goal would probably salt it away. And Montenegro kill it off shorthanded. Kásás dropping. And back out to Kásás with 14 to shoot. Over to the left flat, and it's in! Daniel Varga.
When he took that one into his own hands off the broken play, dropped ball. Just winds up, fires, goes right over Radic's head.
Dennis Varga at 21, his brother Daniel at 24. And the men's semis. And the Hungarians a minute away from advancing for the opportunity to play for their 3rd consecutive gold medal. 8 different scores, pumping in the 11 goals for Hungary. These teams tied in the prelims at 10 apiece. But Montenegro, after getting out to a 6-3 lead, too much of the veterans and Gergely Kish and Kásás, Benedict, but then also the youngsters, the 2 Varga brothers tallying in the second half.
Well, that's exactly right. But I'd have to say the MVP of the game would have to be István Gergely. Gergely coming in off the bench, cold turkey. and just playing out of his mind. And Bob, I've got to think they're going to start him in the gold medal game.
So backup keeper coming in with Hungary down 6-3. And Aston Gergely allowing only 3 goals after that. And this is all about playing the clock as well as Montenegro. And the skip shot by Gergely Kish. Montenegro leaking some players into the front of the pool, hoping to get a couple quick scores. Out of field block there. Game clock and shot clock are in sync. No need to shoot. Hungary, they have not been beaten in Beijing. Only the tie to Montenegro. They pay them back with a win here. The Hungarians, their national sport water polo, they will move on to the gold medal game and await the outcome of Serbia and the United States. And Hungary beats Montenegro 11-9. The favored men's water polo team from Hungary have made it through the semis to play for the gold medal. It'd be their third for 7 players on their team, and second half experience paid off.
Well, everyone had to think throughout this tournament you were going to see Hungary in the gold medal game, and their depth, their experience all paid off. And then the goalkeeping in the second half puts Hungary in the gold medal match.
So Hungary beats Montenegro 11-9, coming back from down 6-3. Back to our USA studios after this message.